like your truck.
Thank you. So I don't believe Biden is our president.
I am here because I support Trump.
I know the election was stolen.
The numbers just don't add up.
Donald Trump's lie that the 2020 election was rigged could undermine American democracy.
Ladies, 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 if you're going to be called deplorable, you should be adorable. This hat will make it happen for you.
The false claim unites his hardcore supporters at this rally in southern Texas, who see it as their patriotic duty to defend him.
January the 6th, 2021 was the greatest day of my whole life. And it was the greatest day of my whole life because I felt like one of the original patriots standing beside our founding fathers, speaking up against King George.
I think this should be a national holiday, maybe a worldwide holiday that America stood up and said, no, you're stealing the election.
Let's go, Trump!
The Capitol attack did not serve as a wake-up call here. Some argue they're on the right side of history, even though, in reality, it's all based on a lie. So what happens to democracy when a group too large to be considered fringe feels robbed at a time when attitudes toward conflict are shifting?
If in this moment people believe that the government has been illegitimately formed, it does set the predicate for believing that violent protest is legitimate.
Professor David Lazar is part of a team of researchers that surveyed some 23,000 Americans about political violence. They found roughly 1 in 4 Americans say political violence can be justified, while 1 in 10 say it's justified right now.
What can you tell me you know about the people that answered, yes, violence is justified right now?
First, we know that they're disproportionately on the right. They're also disproportionately young men.
If people no longer trust the results of elections, can we expect there to be political violence?
It does set the conditions for violent protest. Definitely that misinformation, I think, helps create the conditions where violence could occur.
A congressional committee is investigating what led to the Capitol attack and broader efforts to overturn the 2020 election. The threat of political violence has not subsided as concerning trends emerge.
When I think about January 6th, or when I think about the start of civil wars in general, it requires two types of people. It requires leaders or elites who are organizing these movements. And then you need average citizens to support those individuals in their pursuit of power through violent means.
Barbara Walter has studied this issue for 30 years and is the author of How Civil Wars Start. She says conflict can begin when once politically dominant groups or leaders sense they are losing their grip on power.
The Republican Party and Trump's, very carefully crafted this big lie that the election was stolen. The people on January 6th, they believed that they were doing the right thing, that they were being true patriots. The leaders of the Republican Party, however, they know better, and they're the ones who are pushing this lie, and they're pushing it for very self-interested reasons.
Guys, just push this way. There's no rules up front.
Because Trump still has enthusiastic support from his base on full display at rallies like this one in Texas, there are zero expectations he will change his tactics. He's now offering protection for those who broke the law in his name.
If I run and if I win, we will treat those people from January 6th fairly. We will treat them fairly. And if it requires pardons, we will give them pardons because they are being treated so unfairly.
While Trump's lie was not enough to overturn the 2020 results, his influence on U.S. democracy will be tested this fall, when voters cast ballots in November's midterm elections. Whether these people actually accept the results is anyone's guess, but the fact that the world is watching anxiously to see whether Americans still have faith in free and fair elections says a lot about just how much democracy here is at risk. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Conroe, Texas.